Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this new episode of Cup TV brought to you by www.craftsuprint.com. In today's episode we're going to look at a gorgeous kit from Clarke and the cup number is 779989_359. The kit is called the 3D Shop Window Pop-Up Card Kit and it's the Happy Baking Supply Shop. Now you get 7 sheets in this kit. It includes the sheets for an envelope and it also includes the instructions, the tutorial. I want to run through the sheets with you and then we'll make the actual card itself. Now one thing I want to mention is you can either use this with acetate or without acetate. Carol gives you the instructions of how to use it with acetate. I'm going to use it without because maybe some of you don't have any acetate. If for any reason you don't have acetate but you want to have that window effect, look at some of your packaging. Some of the packaging that your supplies come in, maybe you could use some clear plastic from something like that. Maybe you've had some stickers or some embellishments from Crafty Bob and the supplies have come in a clear plastic bag. Maybe that would be worth looking at. So we're going to make it without because I want everybody to be able to try and make it whether you've got acetate or not. So we'll run through the actual sheets and then we'll make the gorgeous card. So the first sheet is actually the shop window and door. So this is the outside sheet and this is the sheet that when you've cut this out you would be putting the acetate behind. Carol's included the score lines for you as well and she's included some extra labels depending on what sentiment you want to use, and we've got our open sign for the shop and some extra decoupage as well. This is the back of the card and again Carol has included the score lines. I don't know if you can see them but she's included the lines where you score. This is the inner section of the shop, again with score lines and cut lines because there's a couple of things that you can put in that are 3D elements. Now Carol's put in one of the cut lines for you. If you're going to use more than one, add another element, add another cut line. That's what I've done. I'll show you when we get to it. Next we've got some embellishments, the decoupage elements and the stand-up elements. We're going to use these. I'll show you how to pop them on. And we've got the fancy, I'll say the fancy skirting for the window dressing as well. Then we've got the 2 sheets to make the envelope as well. And the envelope will fit the card perfectly. And then we've also got the tutorial instructions. So there's lots in that kit. Now the first thing that I've done is I've cut out the back of the card and the inner section of the card. I've already scored where the actual folds are going to be, but I am going to fold them using my bone folder to make sure that they're nice and sharp. So I'm just followed Carol's guidelines and the instructions on the tutorial. Now on the back of the back section of the card there's a little flap and you want to add your tape on the pattern side of that. And then on the inner section I've scored again and I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure my creases are nice and sharp, following again Carol's score lines. There we go. Now on this crease where the cut line was, I've added another little cut. I've just used a craft knife to add another little cut. And what I've done is I've taken 2 of the pop-up elements, the kind of like a 3D element rather than a pop-up element. So I've cut them out. I've got flat tape on one side of them and I simply fold it over so it sticks together, and then I've got 2 like tabs, like little legs for it. I've got flat tape on the legs, but I'm going to simply slot this through the cut line, and then I'm going to stick the legs to the back like so. So I can take the back of my tape away, so I can stick the legs down, and that will stand up. And now I've got a second one to do in the second slot that I cut. So I'll just pop that through the second slot, and you can see that they're going to stand up, but I've stuck the back of the legs down because then that'll save them wobbling. Just repeat taking the tape away. There we go. So that's my two pop-up elements that you can see in the cut marks. Next, I'm going to add some of my decoupage because it's going to go all together, and this is the middle section that we're not going to be able to get to when we've put it all together. So I've got a little pot of flour, and I've put 3D foam on the back. So I'm just adding that. I've got a bowl of eggs, and I'm just going to pop that between, maybe here actually, just in front of the rolling pin. I've got the bowls, again, with 3D foam on the back. And then I've also got the wooden spoons and the jug, which I'm just going to add to one side of the eggs and next to the flour. So now I've got my decoupage on. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to stick the back section to it. Now I'm actually going to use liquid glue for this because that will give it a little bit of wiggle room and time, just for me to be able to hopefully stick the two together. And I'm not putting glue on the bottom tab. So now I can take the inner section and stick it to the back section, just like that. There we go. And I can press it down, and hopefully that will stick nicely. So I can pop that to just one side for now, and I can take a look at the front of the shop. Now the front of the shop, I want to add my trim to the window. So I've cut this out, and then I've used my crocodile just to add the holes in it to make it a little bit more fancy. You don't have to. I've got flat tape on the back underneath the window, and I'm just going to add the border underneath. So we're doing it from the back like that. So we've got our fancy edge, and then I've got the open sign that I've cut out, and I'm going to add the open sign just to the door. So I've got a little bit of flat tape on it, so I'm just going to add that there so it hangs down. And I've also got the open sign, the extra decoupage layer on 3D foam, so I'm going to add that. So then I'm ready to add this to the actual base of our card. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay everything flat and fold up the edges that we've already creased. Now you remember this little flap at the bottom, so I'm folding that in, and I'm going to get my bone folder and make sure that's a nice sharp flat crease, and I'm going to remove the tape and then we can add the front of the shop to the fold of the bottom of the card. Now at this point, before you add it, this is where you would have added your acetate on the back of the actual shop window and the shop door. So but we're not adding our acetate, but I can add this to the fold at the bottom, like so. There we go. Press it down. And then at the top, I've got flat tape on the back of the roof of the shop, and I can match that up to the back of the inside of the card, like so. And you can see already that is just looking gorgeous. So it's that shape from the side because we've got the folds at the bottom. So I've just got a little sign to put above the door, and it says, "I hope you have a great day." I've just got this on double-sided tape, and I'm just going to pop that just above the door. I think that looks good there. As you were walking into the shop, have a good day. And then for the back of the card, now this is where you'd write your little message to whoever you're sending it to. I've taken one of the labels that's extra, and I'm just going to pop that at the back. There we go. And that's our card finished. And once it's all standing up, I know it's difficult for you to see, but I will take some photos of it. It's a gorgeous card. Now you do get the envelope as well, and it just literally slots together with double-sided tape or flat glue, matches perfectly to the card, and everything's included in the kit. So I would just like to remind you of the cup number, and it's by Clarke, and it's cup 779989_359. Please check out the rest of Carol's designs on the Craftsuprint website, and I would just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.